Hey guys, Sue here. Wanted to jump on and do a quick video to go along with a blog post I just wrote for you on how to take an image that you have. Maybe you like the image, but there's a terrible background. Maybe you want to combine a couple of images to make a really great image, and you've never really been able to figure out how to remove a background and then make an image transparent. And this whole blog that I have here is really about helping you get to a new level in your business so that you can get to the lifestyle that you really want, something that's going to be exciting, get you jumping out of bed in the morning. And so let's jump right into it. Let me minimize this. You certainly don't need to have me this big. So let me minimize that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen here with you. So just give that a second. I'm imagining there's a slight pause. So let me just share that. And then we'll go on over. You should see it in just a second. I'm going to share. Let me just make it a little bit smaller. That way, hopefully we'll have less problems with the bandwidth and all that. Let me just pull this up, make it a little bit bigger. So hopefully it'll be big enough on your screen. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen. If not, now in just a second. I'm going to give it a second. Let me double check. Yes, you are. Okay, so you're seeing my screen. And what I have it on right now is just, you're on my blog post. So if you're seeing this somewhere else, go over to suehanson.com and you'll find this video as well as a bunch of other training videos. And if you find this helpful, please leave me a comment and let me know, because it'll encourage me to do more like this for you. So what we're going to do is go over the example that I did for you. What I did was I took this image, this photo of a pumpkin my daughter made a couple of years ago, and removed all this clutter and made it into this transparent background. And then I went and found a cool image and combined everything into this final image. And you can imagine how wide the applications are for this. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, I know you can do that with Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop. You don't need it, because what I'm going to show you today is really cool. It's a free software that you can use. It's on the public domain. And I'm going to show you exactly how to use it to do what I just did. So it's called paint.net. I'll try to put the link down below. Actually, I think I did. Let me just show you. And if you go over, this is what it's called, paint.net. But you don't find it, if you go do a Google search, it's not under paint.net. What it's under is getpaint.net. There was some kind of conflict with the paint.net URL, so they went with getpaint.net. And as always, go ahead and download it if you don't have it. It's really nice. Even if you have Photoshop, this is pretty easy to use, maybe even easier for some things than Photoshop. And you can go ahead and do grab something off your computer and work right alongside me, pausing this video as you need to. And when you get done, you'll have an image that you can use. Remember, we were always talking about learn something, do something, and then teach something as your content. So practice makes perfect. So go ahead and do that. Pause this until you download it. Be careful, as always, downloading, because they'll try to get other things onto your computer. So be careful. All right. So you've got it downloaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right now show you how to do this by opening up. I'm going to close this up, and instead we're going to go down here and open up paint.net. And I'll let it catch up for you. It's a little slow when we're recording, but here it comes. Okay, so now you can't see all the controls. Let me see if I can move this over for you a little bit so that you can see better what we're looking at. Let me see if I can get it all the way over here. Almost have it. I don't want to, oops, I don't want you to not see what I'm doing. Okay, that's pretty good. The only thing that's not on the screen right now is the file button. So once you open this up, yours might look a little different the first time you open it up, but what we're going to be concerned about right now is the stuff up here. So you will want to click on File, which is off my screen, but it's just like any other file that you've seen on your computer, and then click New. You can pick the dimensions of your canvas. It doesn't matter for this example, so I'm just going to leave it where it is. And then what you want to do is go to this box here that says layers and click on it. Everything is done in layers on here. Think when you work with maybe other programs where it said move to front, move to back. That's kind of how the layers work. There's different levels, and you have to pick and choose what's going to be on top and what's going to be behind that and all of that. So you need to add a new layer. When you add a new layer, there'll be a pop-up window over on the right-hand side that shows you your layers. And once you have a layer, all you have to do is import whatever photo you want to take the background from. So because I'm using a specific example that I've already done, we're going to go ahead and take that image, which is right here, and it'll pop up on my screen. And it's a little bit different size, but it's pretty dang close. Okay, so let me move my, yeah, that's good. That's good for example. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch every little second. We'll pause it and come back, but I want to get you started. So what you do once you have your image here is you go back up here, and there's a little box just off screen here. I'll move it over so you can see it. It says Tools, and you want to click on that. And you see all these tools. Now don't get overwhelmed because you're not going to learn everything in one day. I don't even know how to do most of this stuff because what I wanted to focus on was this. This is the thing that I use a lot and wanted to know how to do. And every time you want to know how to do something, learn it and do a video, produce a piece of content. So here we're going to grab the tool that's called Magic Wand. And you want to keep an eye on this tolerance box up here because that's going to tell you the level of color is when you click. Here, I'll show you what I mean. When you click, you're going to go really close to the pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern, whatever you want to call it. We're going to click. And even though it's going to take a second while we're recording, it'll come up in a second and there'll be parts of the image highlighted. And I knew 50 was too high, but I wanted to show you what I meant. You see how it got some of the pumpkin? That's because the tolerance is too high. What we need to do, you can't tell the difference between the colors because it's too high of a tolerance. Lower it back down. I think 38 might work, 37, somewhere in there. Just give it a try. You want to be as high as tolerance as you can without getting the image. So that's pretty good. It's just right on the edge. There might be a tiniest little bit there. You might even want to go to 30, 41. Let's see what difference that makes. And I don't have my mouse, so it's a little bit more challenging, but we'll still be able to do a really good job. So what you're going to do, once you get to a good tolerance, is if we can get this to go, it's taking forever. Here, let me just delete. Yeah, that's definitely not going to work there. See what happened? So anytime you get this, you just can do the undo button. No big deal. Don't you just love it? It's like a do-over button. We definitely do not want to take out our whole pumpkin's face. So what we're going to be doing is highlighting and deleting. And once we get the background, so that's way too much white. So we have got to go back. Sorry, I have to wait for the computer's working so slow because I'm recording, and I've got a couple of heavier duty programs open here. It won't take this long on your end when you're not recording. Okay, so let's undo that. You know, the funny thing is sometimes you'll be doing this and the creative mind will kick in and you'll see something you like, and then what you can do is use your other free tool, Jing, and make a quick screenshot. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. That's pretty close. You can get a little bit less if you want. Try to get some of this out of here. Maybe even do a little bit less. That was at 41. You can go back in and maybe make it just 39 maybe. And then we're going to go in, try again. And then, like I said, once you get something where you don't have any of the pumpkin highlighted, just the background highlighted, and you're happy with it, it looks good. That looks pretty good. We have some stuff back here in the back, but I don't think it's going to be very noticeable. Just play around with the tolerance. Once you get something highlighted, you click your delete button. And what's going to start happening is you're going to start getting a white background. That's stuff that we're going to be able to take out of there really easily. So just keep going around the image and doing the same thing, clicking it, clicking it, clicking it all the way around. You don't need to worry about doing the outskirts because we can erase that with the eraser tool. What you're concerned about right now is as close to the pumpkin as you can get. See, like that. I'm just going to do a couple more spots here, and then we'll fast forward to the next section because you'll be able to do this by yourself now. See that? It's really easy as long as you have the tolerance in the right location. So what you'll be able to tell is, if you're getting it and you can't quite see where the edges are, what you can do, I'll just show you that real quick. As soon as I get this last little section here. What you'll be able to do, see that's too much on the pumpkin there. Maybe we don't want to do that one. We'll just back up on that one. I have to put the tolerance down a little bit more for that side. What you'll be able to do is blow the image up to get closer so that when we're using the eraser tool, you'll be able to get really close. Yeah, it's getting a little bit, but let's see what it looks like. See how they got into the pumpkin right there? There's a way to add color back in if you get a little bit of that, but you don't need to. You can just For this, just don't do it. I'm going to show you how to not. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. What we're going to do now, just to show you how to do it, is when you start getting close done and you have a lot out here and you need to get rid of all this, what we want to do is try to get the background all white. So what you can do is go back over to Tools and click on here, and we're going to use the eraser. But before we get the eraser, we want to blow this whole image up. So go up here and make it bigger. That way, we're going to be able to erase easier without erasing any of the pumpkin. So we got it larger. Now we're going to go down and click the eraser, and you can make your brush stroke bigger. Now what does that do? That makes it take a lot less time. I'm not sure why it's just highlighted there. I must have bumped something, but what you want to do now is start erasing the background. Sometimes I've noticed on this program the eraser button sticks, so you just have to go back out and come back in, and it usually works. So I'm going to just do this. You can do that too. Anything to get the background white, you can take another tool and just start erasing background. Once you have a white background, we'll easily be able to make it transparent. So I'm not going to make you sit here and watch that. Let me just flip back over to the eraser tool and show you how you can get a little closer to this. That's pretty big, but what you can do, I don't have my mouse, but even with just using the computer, you can go really slow like this and kind of roll it and get pretty darn close. And then you can blur the edge a little bit. I got into the pumpkin a little bit right there. And you can go back and whatever you're not happy with, just undo it. Just don't do too much at a time. That's, just a hint. What you can do, see, we're erasing all this right now. We have a pretty big brush stroke. What you can do is pause every few minutes and start again. That way, if you have to go back, you're erasing less of your work. I made that mistake when I was first learning this stuff. I had a whole bunch in without taking a break, and then when I went and hit the back button, I had to erase a lot more of my work. This way, if you stop every couple of seconds, you only are going to erase a little bit, and it'll save you time. So just keep going like this, really, 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 really close to the pumpkin, or whatever image you're using. And just taking out the background. When you get really close and this is too big, you can go to a smaller, really small eraser by going back up here. You can go back down to a 35 or something like that. And that'll be even easier for you to get the close work. See that? You just want to clean it up the best you can. Do that all the way around. I'm not going to do that now because you saw the final product before, but what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you what to do to save it. So once you get it cleaned up, you're satisfied that you have all of the stuff done, you can make this back normal size again. And then what you'll do is go up here and save it as a PNG. If you want to save it and go back, you do it paint.net PDN, but I don't need to save it like that. What I'm going to do is change this to PNG, you have to make a transparent image, it has to be in PNG. I've found that I need to do 2 steps here. So first I change it to a PNG. So save it. You can just leave it on auto detect, that's fine. Click OK. Just click on flatten. And once it's done, saving, you can go back into that image. Once it's done saving, you can go back into the image, and then when you click, then you can take your, now it's saved in a PNG, so you can go back in and take your magic wand again, click on the white, which it should get just about everything that's white now. Again, if you have to mess with the tolerance, go ahead, but it got all the parts that I had already done. Then click your delete button. And because it was a PNG, you'll get this checkerboard, which is what you need to see to know it's a transparent image. You can click it all day long, and if you haven't saved it first in a PNG and then go back and do it this, you'll never get your checkerboard and you'll get frustrated. So make sure you do that. Save it as a PNG, then go back in with your magic eraser. Show you one more time. We'll do this. You saved it as a PNG. Then you didn't even have to close it out. Then you go back over here to your tools. You're going to grab your magic wand. You're going to then just pick a spot on your white canvas, your background. We're going to try to do this. Wait for it to highlight. Then click delete. And there you go. And it doesn't have to be white. It can be other colors. It's just what happens. You don't have to go through, in other words, and make it all white. You can just do it this way. So don't think if you have enough of a contrast, then you can just do it directly. But if you have a lot of different colors, I think it's easier to do it the other way and just kind of erase some of the background and get it white. So you kind of have to, you'll get used to which is faster. Every image is going to be a little different. But you see, I'm just going through now, I'm cleaning it up. This part on the bottom though, this is what I'm talking about. If you have a stuff like this, if I go to try to highlight this because it's so many different colors, it's not going to be able to tell. See, it only gets a little bit. So in this particular case, it's so much easier just to switch over to your eraser, make it a little bit bigger brush stroke. Maybe make it really big. And just start erasing. I've got to go back out and go back in. I don't know why it doesn't like to do it right away. Let's try it here. Oh, there seems to be a little glitch in it grabbing stuff, so we'll just do it this way and go back like we did last time. So, like I said, now that it's a PNG, it's going to go right away. So, if the image that you load is a PNG already, then you can skip that step. If the image that you loaded at the beginning was not a PNG, then you need to save it as a PNG before you start deleting. I hope I didn't confuse you on that. So now the eraser tool should work. So once you get it saved, Yeah. So once you get it saved how you want it, then you're going to be good to go, and you'll be able to take it and add it to another image. So go over to an open source free image area, and you'll be able to do that. See that? Even though I did a really quick job and I have really sloppy edges, obviously you can take as much time as you want. Yeah, see, I don't have a good, this is way too big right now, but you get the point. Once you erase it, as long as you have this checkerboard, you are good to go, and then you'll be able to go over and use this somewhere else. So I hope that helped you, and if I have time, I'll go back, maybe not today, but later on, and I'll try to put some places down below where you can maybe find some images. Like I said, the image that I used in the example was actually, I went and I found it's supposed to be a desktop background, and I believe they were all free to use. So it's just kind of do a search and make sure you're not using somebody. Don't step on, don't abuse someone else's protected images. So make sure you're using something that's safe. Best bet, take your own images. My daughter actually, when I showed her this, she got all excited that she could go around the house with her camera and take pictures of different backgrounds and then use them for the background for an image. So get creative. We have a bunch of pictures of outdoor wildlife from the zoos, really good ones. I can go in now and I can erase the backgrounds and I can superimpose those onto different images. So get creative. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this training. If there's anything else you're struggling with, leave me a note. Let me know. Maybe I can do a training video on that as well. And as always, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. If your dream is working from home, firing your boss, having more time with your family, friends, spouse, just having a better life, then stay the course. You can do it. I believe in you. And I'll see you on the next video.